Job 5 verse 12 and 13. He frustrates the plotting of the shrewd, so that their hands not attain success. He captures the wise by their own shrewdness, and the advice of the cunning is quickly thwarted. When human cleverness collides with God's wisdom, we live in a world that often celebrates intelligence, strategy, influence, and the ability to stay one step ahead of everyone else. People are encouraged to play the game, manipulate situations, hide their true motives, and use others to get what they want. Success is frequently measured by how cleverly someone can outmaneuver the competition. Yet Job 5 verse 12 and 13 reminds us of a timeless truth. No amount of human cleverness can outsmart God. These verses are spoken by Eliphaz. While many of Eliphaz's conclusions elsewhere in the book are later corrected by God because he wrongly assumed that all suffering is a direct result of personal sin, this particular statement expresses a biblical principle that is affirmed throughout Scripture. In fact, the Apostle Paul quotes Job 5 verse 13 in 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19, showing that this truth is consistent with God's revelation. God sees every hidden motive, every secret meeting, every deceptive plan, every attempt to manipulate circumstances. Nothing escapes his attention. Verse 12 says that God frustrates the plotting of the shrewd. The word shrewd here describes people who rely on crafty schemes rather than integrity. They believe they have everything under control. Their plans appear brilliant, but God can overturn them in a single moment. How often have we seen this happen? A dishonest business hides financial fraud for years until everything suddenly collapses. A corrupt politician carefully builds an image of honesty before hidden corruption comes to light. Someone spreads lies to destroy another person's reputation, only for the truth to eventually be exposed. A scammer believes he has found the perfect victim, only to be caught through the very evidence he thought he had erased. Again and again, history demonstrates that deception rarely remains hidden forever. Verse 13 goes even further. He captures the wise by their own shrewdness. Those who depend entirely on their own cleverness often become trapped by the very schemes they invented. The trap they prepared for someone else becomes their own downfall. Pride blinds them into believing they are untouchable, but God's justice has a remarkable way of turning human plans upside down. This principle appears throughout the Bible. Haman built gallows for Mordecai but was executed on them himself. Daniel's enemies were thrown into the lion's den they had intended for him. The religious leaders believed they had permanently silenced Jesus by crucifying him, yet his resurrection became the very event that defeated sin and death forever. God repeatedly demonstrates that he is never surprised by human schemes. For believers today, these verses offer tremendous comfort. We sometimes feel overwhelmed when dishonest people seem to prosper, while those who pursue righteousness struggle. We wonder why injustice appears to win. Job reminds us that appearances are temporary. God is never late. He sees what no one else sees. He knows every conversation held behind closed doors. He knows every hidden motive behind every decision. His justice may not arrive according to our timetable, but it always arrives according to his perfect wisdom. These verses also challenge us personally. It is easy to justify small compromises, thinking, no one will know, or it's only a little deception. But God is not impressed by clever manipulation. He delights in honesty, humility, and faithfulness. The world's wisdom often says, get ahead however you can. God says, walk in integrity and trust me. In the end, integrity is far stronger than manipulation because integrity rests on God's character instead of human ability. No one can outthink the one who knows every heart. No one can hide from the one who sees all things. No one can defeat the one who rules over heaven and earth. The safest place to be is not among the clever, but among the faithful. Those who walk humbly with God never need to fear that his justice will fail, because the Lord is always able to frustrate evil plans while guiding his people according to his perfect wisdom.